I'm still under constant bombardment. It is picked up tenfold here at home because of all of the stuff I'm posting on the computer, which would be what would happen, right? Because trying to get the OIPRD to respond to your complaints is next to impossible because the OIPRD are OPP. What they neglect to tell you is that the only agency that oversees and protects the public from the police, the only agency that protects the public from the police is the OIPRD. It's an independent board of review. It's supposed to be an independent board of review, okay, that comes in and investigates police, right? But it's not. It's OPP officers investigating other OPP officers. So do you know what that means? What does that mean? It means it's a biased opinion right away. What it means is that camaraderie rules. Police stick up for police all the time. The public never wins. Right? What is it? What is it? Because you know what? I was told and I heard that your own captains within your detachments cannot reprimand you. They can't even fire you. Why is that, guys? Why is that? Why is that? Maybe it's because you guys have so much dirt on each other that the captain doesn't want to get shot. And you know what it is? Maybe is the captain is just as dirty as all of you. Right? Right? Because then what happens if the OIPRD are OPP officers and your captain can't reprimand you or fire you within your detachment? What happens? That means no OPP officer ever gets fired. They always get vacation time with pay, and they call it a penalty. And no OPP officer ever gets fired in Ontario no matter what they do. Not unless they're caught in the act, killing somebody, raping somebody. Even then, they would probably just do the same thing as the Catholic Church has been known to do and just shuffle their fucking idiots around, right? Right? Just shuffle them around. That's all. Sorry, I'm upset, man, because I can't get any help here. And I want to tell you something. I'm under the assumption, because of the things that I'm going through, that there is a child exploitation ring going on here in Kirkland Lake, Ontario. Okay, many years ago, okay, there was a bust here in Kirkland Lake. It was one of the biggest busts in North America that had to do with the orange pedophile ring. It was a child pornography ring that was going on here. Well, it just so happens that two of the officers that I believe are in on this harassment with me and what is going on with this microchip bullshit that the police are using right now to kill people, okay? I believe one of them has ties to the person who was busted for child pornography. She's a detective. That was her brother. Sorry. I can't do that, right? So I'll beep that out. Beep. Okay. So listen. Okay, that was her brother. Okay. The one there's two detectives, husband and wife. The female detective, her ties, she has ties directly to a family member who was involved with the orange ring of child pornography, the biggest child pornography bust in North America. She's a detective. Now, you got her husband, who is a detective, who is just charged with alleged sex crimes. Okay? Now, you got one other officer who I think is involved in this, who has disappeared and nobody knows where he is. I have no clue, but I know that he possibly is involved in this. We have another officer who told me that if I make a complaint to the OIPRD, and dial 911, that there's a good chance that they might not get to me if I did that, if I put in the complaint. I got an officer who was with him at the time at the hospital who was adamant about a piss test for his sergeant because of what was going on in my life. I called 911 on them. Okay? He was like, I need a piss test. I need a piss test. And the doctor said, no. Okay? So they paced the floor back and forth outside the room while the doctor shut the door. And I told the doctor what was going on with me, and he believed me. He said to me, Raymond, if you think this is going on with you, he said, this is possible, Raymond. What you need to do is build a case. Build a case, Raymond. Mark down everything. Everything that you see. So I have been since the very beginning. When this started in the summer of 2017, I have been chronologically logging everything that's been going on with me because I know that this is not in my head. I came back from the hospital after calling 911 on them after 7 days of being in Timmins. I was off for another week, 2 weeks until July 2nd weekend. Now, the 2 days before July 2nd weekend on the Thursday, I put in a complaint to the OIPRD like I told that officer I was going to. 2 days later, I was picked up and apprehended for what? You got it. Whoop. You know the incident I can't talk about. Okay? So, and then I was brought back to Timmins and branded with bipolar disorder and audio hallucinations in 8 minutes. Why do you think that was? It's because I knew who was causing the audio hallucinations. I knew what was going on in my life like I know just now. If they would have blindsided me with these audio hallucinations and I didn't know it was them doing it, I would be fucked. I'd be going in the fucking street, drooling all over myself, right? Like everybody else seems to be doing who doesn't know what the fuck is going on in their life, right? Right? Well, I know what's going on in my life. That's the thing. And bipolar disorder takes 1 to 5 years to diagnose, man. Not 8 minutes. And audio hallucinations, how do you diagnose somebody with audio hallucinations when you've never witnessed one yourself? And there's nothing in your charts at the hospital that says that you witnessed any, nor did I ever admit to having any. So how do you do that, guys? Please tell me. And then I'm sent back after a month and a half in the hospital. Okay, all these conditions. I'm arrested now for the incident that took place because they can't arrest you then. They have to bring you, apprehend you under the Mental Health Act, bring you in, deal with that. Then when they release you, they pick you up right there and then and arrest you. Right? Well, you see, my mother was worried about me. My mother was worried about me staying in Monteith because of the whole sexuality thing, but I wasn't worried about that. She made the calls to the Kirkland Lake Detachment to arrange for me to stay in lockup in Niagara Falls, and I have been listening to this. How come you couldn't spend 1 day in jail, you chicken shit faggot? How come you couldn't spend 1 day in jail, you chicken shit faggot? Who else would know about that? I didn't even know about it. Okay? Figure that one out. Now I go to court in Hillsbury, which is court, right? I mean, we're not in Kirkland Lake Court here. We're in Hillsbury Court. So the charges manufactured. Now a judge assumes that their officers are telling the truth. Right? She sends me, which is, well, okay, my uncle come and bailed me out. I went out to Togenberg Trail, which was like way outside of Kirkland Lake. Way outside of Kirkland Lake. Don't care. They said to me, you shouldn't be talking about this case, Raymond. We're going to arrest you, Raymond. We're coming, we're coming to get you, Raymond, if you talk about this case. Bullshit. I'm fucking tired of this. And if there's child exploitation involved, I have a responsibility to the community and to the children of this community to make sure that nobody is being hurt. Because I know what you did to my friend. What you did to me and my friend, and because now I can't get anybody to help me is disgusting. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Okay? So now, see, I'm going to keep doing this because I don't give a fuck. They're not coming to get me. They're not. I'm tired of this, man. OPP are exploiting people in Kirkland Lake. Along with this private thing they got going on here that we see cruising around. Right? Has anybody noticed this private thing in town cruising around? Okay? Well, what do you think they're here for? This has been 3 years going on for me now. 3 years of intense bombardment. And I've been fighting them every step of the way. They've only been here for about 1.5 years. They've come here to help them with this. Now, let me tell you. In November of that same year, I was apprehended again. Brought up to the Kirkland Lake Hospital. I stayed 3 days in Kirkland Lake with somebody standing outside my door. I couldn't leave the room. I pissed clean. They had no reason to apprehend me. They sent me to Timmins, or to North Bay. Then sent me to Timmins for another week on top of the week I spent in North Bay. And the psychiatrist in North Bay says, Raymond, you pissed clean in Kirkland Lake. Why are you here? I don't know. You tell me. So then I get home to Kirkland. My parents don't want me at home because of all the shit going on. So I'm out in the cold. Right. I'm out in the cold. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But I'm laying on my hospital bed, minding my own business. Okay. And the doctor comes in, who just happens to be the ex-wife of one of the officers involved in all of this. And she sits on the end of my bed. I didn't get it at first, right? And she said, oh, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Oh, yeah, you feeling okay? Yeah. I mean, Dr. Jordan was coming up to sign me out. And he did so. No problem, right? But now in January or February, I get apprehended again. Back to North Bay. Now this time I happen to run into a young man from town here whose mother is a nurse at the hospital, who was in the room with me the day that the doctor came in and talked to me on the end of my bed. Her son is suffering from the exact same audio hallucinations and bullshit in his head that I am. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Somebody have a problem with somebody else? You know what? The best way to hurt a mother is to hurt her son. No? Oh, no, that's right. That's right. The best way to hurt a mother is her son. Okay? Now, this has gone on and on and on and on and on and on, and I've recorded every little bit of it. It is ridiculous. I have an officer from Iroquois Falls who stops me on the side of the highway and tells me, if you don't take care of your Newfoundland warrants in a year from now, we're coming after you. And this was well before all of this started. Well before I was chased away from Nettie Lake. Well before all of that stuff transpired. He was covering for an incident that took place when that's right, when my ex-employer, or the company that we were working for, contracting for, tried to kill me at work. At work. And covered it up. Okay. Now, I told them about an incident before that because I was, like I said, discriminated against well before all of this took place. I recovered from all of that, got myself healthy again because it was very, very stressful, intense for me, and I went back to work, and then all this transpires. But only after things shuffled around, and people, we took over here, they took over there, and then boom, everything starts again. Right? So this is the oppression of me because of the way I live my life and because of my knowledge. Because of my knowledge of what might be going on here in Kirkland Lake. Because all of my bombardments, like I can understand what they're doing because they have made everything extremely, extremely, literally, the most deviant of sexual, suggestive dialogue and conversation that you could possibly imagine. Of course, what would somebody accuse somebody who is gay or bisexual of? What would they accuse them of? What would be the first thing? Pedophilia, right? Of course. We still are Neanderthals in that sense, right? We still can't get over that, right? That whole feeling of gay and bisexual people being the bad people. But you know what? Statistically, heterosexual men are the ones that molest all the little boys out there. Not gay men, not bisexual men, heterosexual men. But then what happens is they grow up being told and thinking that that person who molested them was gay. When really, they weren't gay. They weren't gay at all. They didn't live their lives gay. They didn't live their lives bisexual. No. They were heterosexual men with families and wives, and they were the ones that did it to you. But you grow up thinking that it's the gay people doing it to you. Right? So you blame us. You blame the LGBT bracket for your bullshit. Right? Now, all of the conversation in what's going on in here has all been the most disturbing, the most vulgar, the most deviant of sexual discussion. All suggested by them. Not me. But they're trying to, it's like I'm going, you're the ones that are thinking of this shit, man. You're the ones bringing this fucking shit up, not me. You. What the fuck is going on with you people, man? And you know what? I know, because there's something going on here in Kirkland Lake. This is an injustice. Because they're able to do this to me, they told me that they were going to do something before they did it, and I didn't fucking believe that they would do this. Because every second day, they tell me, Raymond, and I can hear, Raymond, we're coming for a war. We got a warrant for you. We're coming to get you. Stay in the house, Raymond. Stay in the house. Because they want me trapped in this basement because of what's going on right next door. Now, if you've listened to my other videos of what's going on next door in my basement, you would understand that there's something fucking going on here. I can't get the OIPRD to help me. I can't get the police to help me. Why? Because they're up. Camaraderie for me, and I'll cover for you. Right? And I'm still under the most intense bombardment every single minute of the day, all night, all day, all night, all day. Threatening me, don't leave the house, we're coming to get you, we're going to kill you, Raymond, we're going to kill your family, we're going to kill your nieces, we're going to kill your brothers, your sisters, your uncle, we're killing you, Raymond, don't you leave that fucking house, Raymond, you better never go around Nettie Lake, Raymond, you better never, 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 never. Right. Now, right before I got chased away from the cottage, right. Now, first of all, I'm going to put it this to you. 3 doors down from me on the right, on the same bay that I'm in, there's another man, another one of my friends who suffered from audio hallucinations and bombardment, who hung himself. When I got out of the hospital and had some free time, like the first day, I went out to my grandfather's farm just to walk around the farm, and all of a sudden I'm hearing, Raymond, you got rope, Raymond? Maybe you should hang yourself from that tree right there, Raymond. Hang yourself, Raymond. Kill yourself, Raymond. Kill yourself. For 3 months, I dealt with that. Raymond, come to us, Raymond. Transition to us, Raymond. Are you afraid? Kill yourself, Raymond. If I was depressed, if I was the slightest bit depressed because of the bombardment that they were doing, if I did not know it was them doing it to me, I would be dead. Do you get it? Do you get it? What are the chances of 2 people in the same bay coming down with audio hallucinations, one committing suicide and the other being talked into it, trying to get me to hang myself from the tree at my grandfather's farm? If I was depressed, I wouldn't be here right now. Now, it just so happens that before I got chased away from the cottage, I was chased away in June. Now, somebody out there was going to be spending their first winter out there as a year-round home. Now, there's only me and that other person in the whole bay. There's a police officer here. There might be another police officer right here. Then there's an island. Then there's another island with the Knights of Columbus camp. That's all empty. All winter long, it's all empty. Okay? But me, I would have to park my car at the gate on Sandy Drive and walk all the way into the back of the cottage, all the way in, which is about half an hour walk on the skidoo trail. You see, but that first winter, that road that is not usually plowed, that is a public access road, would be plowed right through to their door. My door is 2 doors down from that. Now, the Nettie Lake Association gets together and has a meeting about trying to keep everybody from the back end of the lake, the seasonal cottages, out of there for the winter. Why? Why? I was the only one out there. Me. I was the only one out there, man. So you tell me, what does that look like? Somebody had to maintain a road and didn't want me parking there? Is that what it was? Because on the other side, the year-round homes, you can't get to my cottage from there. You can only get to it by going this way, which now would be maintained personally by someone, but it's a public access road and always has been. But there's no other way in there. So why did this transpire? Let me tell you, why did this transpire? Many things, many things have happened, and they're all covering for each other, believe me. But not just that. This thing that they have in here, which is real, okay? Go look under brain implants, okay? Go look at what Mr. You-know-who and all of his technology is doing with these, and go look at other things that's going on with this technology, and you wouldn't believe the stuff they can do with them. Enhances brain power, brain memory, enhances motor skills, enhances speech, you name it. They can put a little brain implant up here in your brain, because your nasal cavity, your brain sits right on top of that soft membrane right at the back of your nasal cavity. So up here, they can go up in there and literally plug you in with wires, just like they do a lab rat, except that with a lab rat, they do it this way. And you see them running around the cage with wires stuck in their brain, but they're still alive, running around. And we all know that rats, when you do surgery on a brain, you don't feel it, right? You have no feeling in your brain. So them going in non-invasively into your nasal cavity and plugging this into your brain, you wouldn't even know it. Now, I had a surgery here in the Kirkland Lake Hospital for a day hernia. I should have been out in 3 hours. My other one was a lot worse, and I was at home in 3 hours. This one, they kept me for 7 days extra observation. That was in 2010. Now, it just so happens that the surgeon and the anesthesiologist who did it live on Nettie Lake too. Isn't that a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Or isn't it a coincidence? Something is going on here in Nettie Lake, and it may involve child exploitation, and nobody's paying attention. They are continuing to harass me day after day after day after day after day. Okay? My life has been threatened. So if I disappear, if I die, right. Now, unfortunately, one thing might lead to another, and there may be some people that are very close to me that maybe have been coerced into this, manipulated into this. I don't know how it's working, but just remember that if anything happens to me, to look very close to me. Very close to me. Okay? And don't suspect everyone. Okay? Alright? Just in case. Because what they do to you is they close you off to everybody you love. They make you believe that everybody you love and adore is in on this. They make you believe, they cut you off from all of your networking. They cut you off from all of the services that you require. They make you feel like you're pushed into a corner and you have no way out. Now they encourage violence. They encourage radicalism. They encourage you to take part in things that you would never, ever, ever think that they would convince you to take part in. And I'm not taking part of these. I refuse to let them do this to me. So, please, I need, like, the tanks to roll in. I need, like federal Secret Service help immediately. Because why? Because the OIPRD, the only watchdog that looks over the police, okay, because after that it's CSIS, right? It's the Canadian, Secret Service, CSIS. They depend on the OIPRD to do its job. But the OIPRD are OPP officers. Do you understand what I'm saying? So CSIS depends on them to function normally. And I don't know if they are aware that they're not. Right? So something needs to be done. So if you know anybody who is connected to the federal government in any way, the Secret Service, you know what I mean? I was in Newfoundland years ago in St. John's, and I was lucky enough to be able to cross paths with Kathy Dunderdale, and I met the Secret Service guys there. Great people, and with really big hearts. I'm hoping that somebody out there, around here, anywhere, whether it's what province, I don't care what province it is, because CSIS looks after all of our provinces. So if one other province calls for me, if you call for me in this province, whatever it is, but I have no help here. And the police who are supposed to help won't touch it because they're all mixed in together. If the captain will not reprimand his men and can't fire his men, then no wonder why nobody's coming to my aid. But nobody's coming to the aid of the children who may be being exploited either. Remember that. That's what I'm concerned about. Not me, the kids. First and foremost, the kids. This is for them, the kids. Remember that. And you know what? If this falls apart, then you know it was them that convinced me and made me believe that you were doing this. But no, there's too many indicators, man. There are way too many indicators. And I told you the first two. Come on now. If I disappear, end up in jail, or picked up at the OPP for anything, for this incident, or for me talking about this, you know what they're doing to me. Right? Okay. Hopefully, someone has a heart for people and children who are being exploited.